Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. John Henry Soto here. As always, this is a live morning space for artists, filmmakers, musicians, and creators who are navigating the real world of making art. On this show, we talk about positivity, but not the fluffy kind. We talk about what actually stops artists from moving forward, the struggles we all face, and how to move through them with clarity and purpose. We'll also highlight good things happening in the industry, share ideas, suggestions, and practical advice, and most importantly, have honest conversations. Of course, as always, this is a live show. So if you're here, feel free to ask questions, join in. This is a place to reset, get grounded, and start the day moving forward as an artist, which is always a fun thing to be. And good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well out there. It is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, 7 a.m. here in Nashville, Tennessee. And we're going to be discussing a little bit of AI. Had a busy day yesterday, by the way, just running around town with took the kid, my son, to get some stuff, and my wife wanted to come with us, and that was fun. And sometimes it takes a little longer when she comes along, but actually it was great. No issues whatsoever, and we had a nice time, and a bunch of other things that I had to do. I don't remember. It's so interesting when you have a busy schedule on some days, and then you look back and you don't remember what you specifically. You got to go to your calendar. I had to do this, but you don't, because you're on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready for this today. I'm here, and when this is done, I'm on to the next thing. I got a 10 o'clock today, and then I got a walk to do in the morning. I always do my morning walk with my neighbor. We do my morning walks, and I come back. Then I get ready for my 10 o'clock appointment that I have, a Zoom call, and then after that, I have no idea. Anyway, my point is that there's a lot going on, and it's all good. Hope you're doing well. This morning, we're going to be talking a little bit about AI, which I know I've spoken a lot about AI, but there's a new thing happening now because there's the thing about technology, right? When it comes out and people start really utilizing it and putting it out there, they go overboard, right? I mean, let's face it, right? Humanity is has a tendency to go overboard with things. It's just something that they do. I don't have any explanation for it, but they definitely have gone overboard with the AI models and AI companies and the silly videos that are coming out and what's real and what's not. Some of the things you can pretty much tell it's all fake, especially when it comes to human interaction. You always know where a fake one is. Will it get better? Absolutely. Will it replace humanity? No, it will not. Not the artistic part. It will replace a lot of automated things right now. Call centers will have you'll be able to have a conversation with a AI agent almost as like you'll have a conversation with a normal person. That's how good it's going to get. And it's already pretty good on some of the things. I mean, I don't even know if I've spoken to any real humans when I call centers. But who knows? Maybe they are human. They sound human, but who knows what we're really what they're how advanced the level is of that technology. So we're living in a moment where artificial intelligence is producing music, scripts, artwork, news copy, deep fake performances, and it's happening at a scale that's honestly mind blowing. But what it's really exposing, when you really have to look at it, what it's exposing isn't just technological power; it's exposing hunger. The more AI generated content floods our feeds, the more we realize how much we crave something real, something flawed, spontaneous, vulnerable, and human. Perfection isn't for machine. Perfection is easy for machine, but humanity, that's messy. And it turns out messy is what connects us. What's happening right now is almost paradoxical. The rise of AI is amplifying the value of authentic human interaction. When everything can be generated, curated, optimized, and automated, the unscripted moment becomes priceless. A live conversation, a mistake that turns into magic, a story told from a lived experience. That's the stuff you can't synthesize. AI can replicate patterns, but it can't replicate soul. Audiences are starting to feel the difference. They may consume AI, but they trust and remember human connection. And this is a major part of it because, art is spiritual. Art is soul. Whether you believe in, if you don't believe in spirituality, I don't know, that's okay, fine. But for me, it's a spiritual connection, and that's what gravitates people to it because there's something behind it that is pure, that you can feel, and it's getting to the point where people are starting to not feel, AI at all, but just to see it. You look at it almost like you're seeing two cats fighting in the street. You're kind of like, oh, look at those cats, they're fighting. And then you walk away. And that's what it's starting to turn into. People are starting to consume it that way. It's not necessarily something that's can be life changing, like an actual lived experience of a human being telling a story of how they've overcome some type of obstacle in their lives. And they do it, they're very, very much into the story. You feel that conversation. You can feel when someone is really just telling you, pouring their heart out to you. You see, and I think that that's starting to become more evident as more AI models come out and more content floods the airwaves. I mean, gosh, there is so much stuff going on right now. And it's some of it is very, very silly. And you kind of look at it and it's fake because they're usually involve people that have been gone for a very long time. So they'll have Michael Jackson, or they'll have they had one that I saw, Jimi Hendrix fighting Mr. Rogers, and I just thought, that's what's the benefit of that? And it's just to look at it, to go like, hey, look what AI can do. Look what AI can do. Okay, it didn't really, there were moments of it that didn't look good. It didn't look clean or anything like that, but it definitely looked like them, but it wasn't a clean AI video. And there was a bunch of them like that, of just famous people that have been dead for decades fighting. It got boring real fast. I don't know if they thought this is the new future. Watching dead people fight. I don't know if some idiot thought that, and maybe they did. These people are thinking in uh it's like having a new toy and you don't know how to really play with it yet. It's like somebody hands you a guitar and you start strumming away without learning any music. It's sort of like they've got the instruments, they got the tools, but they don't know how to play it. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to make it entertain anyone. And so there's a lot of that going on right now with AI, and it is kind of hilarious when you think about it. Um, but eventually, I think what's going to happen, and this is going to be a short conversation because I've done so much content on AI, but I wanted to just cover the human interaction, and I wanted to really emphasize and encourage all of you um, to really start putting content out there of your daily life, of whatever you're doing, what you're interested in, what your passions are, what your goals are, um, your schedule of what you're doing, and just really have a conversation with your audience. And if no one is watching, that's okay too. People will watch eventually. Just put it out there, put it on one of the platforms, and start flooding the airwaves with actual human connection. I think this is going to really be what AI cannot fight against, and I think once you realize that, and once you understand that, you have something that no one else is going to be able to have, no one else is going to be able to do the things that you do, have the stories that you tell in the way that you tell them. It's only one voice. You and I've done shows before in the past where People have said, or I've answered questions where people have said, well, who's gonna want to listen to this? Who's gonna want to listen to me? You know, and what you have to understand is that people like people. You know, um, I mean, people need people, right? To quote the song from the old song, people, people who need people. Sorry, um, but that is a true thing. People need people. We need each other. We need each other to inspire us. We love when we see someone doing well or someone who actually overcame something. um you know there's haters out there as well, and they have their place, and they'll sink into their holes eventually. But my point is, get out there and create the content. you know these AI bots and all this stuff, it's going to have a category, which is what I'm going to talk about in a second. But what I'm going to read here in a second, it's going to have its place, and it's going to be something that people consume, but human interaction is never going to go away. And the more we learn how to communicate our thoughts and where we are in life and what we overcame and how we can help others, these stories really resonate with people that are going through similar things. And you never know who you're going to hit on the other side and who you're going to inspire on the other side. It's such an important thing to just realize, hey, you know what? I'm going to get out there. I'm going to put my content out there. I'm going to tell my story. You do a video of something, you just say, hey, I grew up in this area, and by the age of 5 I had moved already, and I moved to this place at this time, I went to this school, and this is a little bit about me. And then you start talking, and you just start with like your background, and I guarantee you that halfway through that you're going to find all the stories of your life, all the shortcomings that you've had that you overcame, all the challenges that people put in front of you that you had to battle through. All that stuff will start coming up, and you start be able to articulate these stories and better and better. And as you start doing that, the algorithms of social media will, all the platforms will start to gravitate towards humanity, because right now they're gravitating towards the AI thing because we're consuming it, we're looking at it because it's all over the place. But it's gonna eventually melt, because it's right now very, very hot. And it's, but it's not, at some point it's gonna go cold, and people are going to be bored. you know, you can't get bored with humanity. We've been doing it for quite some time now. As you can see, people are still interested in other humans, right? So eventually, AI will likely settle into its place as just another category of entertainment, like animation, CGI, or video games. People will enjoy it, experiment with it, maybe even be amazed by it, fully aware that it's engineered. But real humans, we don't get opt out of creating. We're wired to express, to build, to collaborate, to feel seen and heard. If anything, this AI explosion is reminding us that our greatest competitive advantage isn't efficiency, it's authenticity. And that's something no algorithm can manufacture. We have an advantage of being authentic that AI, unfortunately for AI, will never have. AI can only generate what we've put in it, the things that we've actually done, the things that we've talked about, our experiences, all those things. But you can build a brand around you. You can build a movement around your story, around your passions, around the things that you love to do. And if you're a filmmaker, definitely use AI for the technical things to help you speed up the process. The minutia of filmmaking sometimes can be a little tasking, um, can drain you, can take a lot of time. If you can use AI and figure out, train it to actually help you with the things that you don't like doing, but you love doing, you love writing, or maybe you love directing, but you don't love editing, you don't love color correction, you don't love trying to find someone to do it and paying a gazillion dollars. Well, if you have these platforms, utilize them to make your work cleaner, faster, but it's your work. Remember that. It's your work. It's not AI's work. Don't let AI, don't have AI make you a film or write you a script. You sit down and you write that. You create that authentic um, feel that AI cannot generate. By the way, AI is no good at those things, but they can't create. There's a funny guy on there. Can't remember his name, but he does a lot of content where he interviews AI actors. Very, very hilarious, very funny. And it's just one of those things where you can't where you can't stop laughing because you see they don't know how to. AI doesn't have the subtleties of performance. And I talked about this before. I made an example about Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs. There's a scene with Jodie Foster where she's outside of Hannibal Lecter, the prison cell, and looking through the bars, and he's saying things to her that he's really kind of picking something at her that's really bothering her. And at first, her facial, she has no dialogue here. She's just looking, and she's first like angry, then she kind of gets a little vulnerable, then she starts trying to get angry again, and it's all happening in her facial expression. Of course, she won an Academy Award for that performance, but it's all happening in her facial expression. AI cannot do that. If you tell AI, okay, in this scene, first you're angry, you're going in tough, and then you're scared, and then you start trying to get angry again, and you prompt it. AI doesn't understand angry like this kind of angry where you're just kind of like expressing that kind of thing. It doesn't understand that. So it's gonna go ah, 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 oh, 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 that's what it's gonna do. I'm telling you, I've seen the models do it. It doesn't understand subtleties. It can't. It's not human. That's human. That's human nature is to to hide. She's hiding those emotions, but she can't. AI doesn't know understand that part of it. It only understands very open. Be angry. Ah. That's why the clip that just went viral with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt having a fight scene. That's why it got so many views, and people were like, "Wow, this is really good," because it was sort of a fighting scene where there was just one emotion, anger, two people angry, you know, and we've done that already. We have CGI, we have technology to do certain things um, already without AI. Now, it looked a lot better than a lot of other things, but it wasn't something that we were afraid of, when we had CGI stuff coming out, right? People are afraid of this now because it's sort of like it's not we're losing control of it. I think that's part of the problem. um, so I have a question here from counterparts. I don't know what counterparts could possibly be. Wouldn't the process of working harder and longer on a task make it that much better when you accomplish it? You're using brain power and muscle memory. You run the risk of not using your mind versus AI. That is 100% true. The more you actually produce something and you're working on, especially if it's a script, and you're really trying to flesh out a character, let's just say, you know, you 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 work a lot better when you're sitting there really trying to figure out where this character is lying, what are the traits of this character, where are the shortcomings of this character, where is this character been in the past that's making it develop. Now you write all that into a script, so when you're writing, you have all that. It's a backstory, right? Sometimes you don't put it on the paper for the script, but you have the backstory, and what the backstory does, and you write the backstory down for each of your characters. You write the backstory because then you get to understand, um, when you're writing, why this character is saying the things that they're saying, because you have this strong backstory, right? And because it's such a powerful backstory, and you know where the character is from, when you're writing, you're almost not even thinking anymore. You know what the guy's going to say because this is the way he is, because he grew up this way and blah, blah. Same thing for the other character, right? So that's the thing that AI will never be able to accomplish. This is the work. This is the wonderful part of the work where you're able to work on something extensively and really flesh out flush out a character, or flush or fleshing, flesh it out, flash, whatever. Get out the character and make the character be more real. AI will never do that, and that's part of the challenge that AI has right now. So anyway, I don't want to go too long on this because I've done many episodes on AI, um, and it's always a way for me to talk about it, especially when I have a different angle on it. You know, it's like a different way of thinking about it, a different way of viewing it. And last night or yesterday, I was thinking about, during the day as I was driving, I was thinking about humanity and thinking about what I'm going to talk about today, and thinking about the importance of getting our thoughts on paper, and how that fills others with hope when they read your story and when they read your outcome. You know, it's how you inspire, how we inspire each other. You know, and I was thinking about, human interaction is going to be more important now than ever because of AI. Everybody says, "Oh, AI is going to take over." Now, it's going to actually be, like I said, in a category. It's going to have a lot of things. It's going to do a lot of things. It's going to take a lot of jobs. It's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be incredible growth. A lot of things are going to happen because of it. But people are going to always crave humanity. And I think one of the questions people are going to ask, which I spoke about in another show in the past, is people are going to say, "Was this generated by AI? Was this AI?" That's the question people are going to ask. I guarantee it. You're going to look at something and say, "Oh, this is a film. Is this AI?" And that's when people say, "Yeah, it's all fully AI," you're going to be like, "Oh, okay." And they're going to, a little, whether they feel it or not, a little piece of them is going to lose a little bit of respect for it, or lose a little bit of, I think I got to sneeze. Lose a little bit of, I don't want to say respect as a technology, but the humanity of it will not be taken seriously because there's no human. So you'll take it almost like you're watching a robot do something. And I don't even mean animated series, because animated series usually use humans as models, and they human, and trying to make it human. It's purposely animated. It's purposely to look like a cartoonish thing. What AI is trying to do is trying to trick you into making think that it's real humans, because they can't be human, so they got to pretend to be human. It reminds me of like vegetarians who try to eat chicken that looks and tastes just like regular chicken, because they really like chicken. They don't want to eat it, or steak or whatever they're eating, but they really do like it, and they try to replicate it with something fake. And that's what AI is doing, replicating life with something fake. And we're able to look at it, we're able to consume it, we're able to see it, and now we're able to understand that it's not human. And humanity is what really gets us in the heart, and it's what keeps us moving forward. All right, friends. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. I appreciate you all. I will be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central, as always, Monday through Fridays here. And guarantee that the subjects, that I talk about here are some of the things that I read about on the industry. It's a publication. The dailies is another publication. Check those out. A lot of those have great articles there about what's currently happening in the industry, whether it's behind the camera or in the studios system, whatever is currently happening, and even technology and new films coming in as well. Always very exciting to read those, so check those out when you get a chance. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all very much. Have a wonderful day out there. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. God bless. And as always, peace.